Go Utah. Go Salt Lake City. Go Silicon Slopes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the CEO at Hubspot, along with the CEO at Lucid, Brian Halligan and Karl Sun.
Talk about happiness, that's what we're talking about.
Well, great. Well, thank you for being here, and it is my pleasure to sit down and have a conversation with Brian. Brian, thanks for being here and for coming to Utah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Awesome being in Utah. Love it here.
Yeah. Well, maybe let's just start off with a general question. You know, what inspired you to start Hubspot?
Sure.
Back in the day.
We started HubSpot in business school, my co-founder and I, and there were kind of two ahas that led to HubSpot. One was mine, one was Dharmesh's, my co-founder. My aha, I'd done a project inside a venture capital firm where the venture capital firm wanted me to work with all their portfolio companies and help them think about how do they grow and really get substantial growth. And I meet with the founders, the marketers, the salespeople. They all had the same playbook. They were going to buy a list and send a lot of emails. They were going to hire telesales reps and cold call. They were going to do a bunch of advertising. They were going to hire the big PR firm and do the big trade show. And I was watching the best practices, I was watching the results, and it just didn't seem to work. And I was kind of wallowing in misery, in marketing misery, effectively. And the first aha we had was that marketing is essentially broken. And the reason it's broken is all of us humans, we're immune to marketing. We're sick and tired of being marketed to, and we're getting really good at blocking it out. We all have caller ID on our phones, we all have spam protection, we all have ad blocker. It's impossible to reach us using traditional marketing methods. And so that was kind of the first thing that was going on. Second thing that was going on is Dharmesh, my eventual co-founder, he blogged his way through business school. So anytime he had an interesting class, he'd write a blog article, he had a domain, he had a little blog going. And I use Alexa, the old Alexa, to track his blog versus all my kind of wealthy venture-backed startups with sophisticated marketing staffs and whatnot. And sure enough, he had 100 times more interest in his crap little blog than any of my wealthy venture-backed startups. And the way we started to think about it is he was matching the way he marketed with the way modern humans actually were living at the time. He was very good at search engine optimization, very good at social media marketing. Back then it was Dig and Reddit, it wasn't even Facebook cranking back then. Very good at connecting with other bloggers. And we started describing the world as old school outbound interruption-based marketing, new school kind of pull inbound marketing, and that became the kernel of a good idea, is inbound versus outbound. Now, Clay Christensen just passed away, sadly. Clay Christensen had a ginormous impact on the founding of HubSpot. We had this idea of inbound marketing, but it was just an idea, and we didn't know how to turn it into a company. We were in Clay's class at the time we were talking about this stuff. And in Clay's class, of course, he talked about his classic disruption model. The example Clay used in 2006 was how Apple disrupted the MP3 market. You had to be kind of, pretty technical to figure out how to get your MP3 player connected to music online and burn stuff, and it was kind of a pain in the neck. What Apple did was they created an iPod, very simple device, iTunes, freemium model, and then 99 cents a song. It was 1 + 1 + 1 = 10, and they disrupted that industry. And so that became the idea behind HubSpot. We looked at what it took to do inbound marketing. You had to buy blogging software, social media analytics tools, search engine optimization consultants, content management system, marketing automation system, CRM system. It was a pain in the backside. So we said, well, let's take a page from Clay, let's take a page from Apple, and let's build an all-in-one, easy-to-use system for mere mortals to move from that old school outbound to new school inbound. That's kind of how we got started, and I'm really sorry, that was a very long answer.
No, I think that was fantastic to see that and hear that overview. So you sort of described how those patterns were shifting even back in 2006, and that was the insight that you guys had. I'm curious, what's your perspective on how buying behaviors have changed since then? Yes, in the last 15 years now, 14 years.
I feel like back then there was kind of a wormhole in the internet that inbound fit, where it used to be that if you wanted to build a newspaper, it was very expensive. You had to buy printing presses and paper and all this stuff. TV station is very expensive to create a TV station, very expensive to create a radio station, but holy crap, did the cost to do that drop. You know, you create a blog, you can create a podcast, you can create a video channel, and instead of renting some space on a TV show, newspaper, or radio show, you just create your own darn one. That was a huge hole in the internet, and people are still driving through that. I feel like there's a new hole in the internet to enable companies to grow. And when I think about that, I think about like my morning routine. So not this morning because I stayed in the Hilton across the street, but a typical morning for me is I wake up. First of all, I wake up on a Casper mattress, and then I reach over and I put on my Warby Parker glasses, and I take out my phone and I turn on Spotify and I listen to my favorite band, the Grateful Dead, boogie my way into the bathroom, and I take a shower and I shave with my Dollar Shave Club. I go downstairs with my dog Romeo and feed him with the food I got from Chewy.com. I go upstairs and I put on my Stitch Fix outfit. What do you think of the outfit? Stitch Fix, great. And then I get in a lift and I go to work. And I think of my morning routine. It's fascinating, my morning routine. All those companies I do business with, they're all startups, like you guys, you're running startups. But what's interesting about those startups is they're selling the same damn product as everybody else. Like Stitch Fix, this is the same clothes you can buy at Neiman Marcus or Gap or wherever. It's the same product. It used to be that to win, your product had to be 10 times better than the competition. In today's day and age, it's more your business model where the innovation's happening and the go-to-market motion where that action's happening. And so that's where I see the wormhole open on the internet. That's where I see the big companies being created. Companies who don't just get product market fit right, but get product experience fit right. Product market fit, that's kind of table stakes today. And a product experience fit, that's where the disruption seems to be happening. That's where I think it's fascinating what's going on in the internet today.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and following up on that, I think you're known to say that this customer experience is really the level on which companies need to compete and succeed today. So maybe on that note, what can startups today actually do to deliver that disruptively good experience that will bind that customer to them as opposed to someone else?
Sure. Like, let's just say you're in the software industry like your company and my company are in. I look at HubSpot. In HubSpot, we get 12 million visitors a month to our site, a couple 100,000 leads to our site. What we try to do is match the way we market to the way modern humans behave and shop and learn and buy. So HubSpot started with kind of content marketing. We produce tons of interesting content out there. That content gets circulated in social media, in the blogosphere, and whatnot. And people find it in Google, and they land on HubSpot's site, and they're learning through our site. Mm-hmm. And that's about half our customers come through sort of content marketing, not advertising, raw content. The other half is what I refer to as code marketing. We make our CRM and our marketing and all our products today, they're freemium. And about half our customers come in because they said, oh, that's interesting. There's a free CRM product and get started free and then move up in functionality over time. I'm going to start with the free. So about half our customers come in with that freemium model. I think that's a good way in B2B to build it. What doesn't scale particularly well is raising a ton of money and spending it on advertising. That doesn't work particularly well today.
Great. Sort of a...
Probably shouldn't say that with Mark Zuckerberg speaking later.
We won't tell him.
I'll tell you the other thing that I think is interesting about marketers today. Like, I grew up in sales and marketing my whole career since 1990. And the like prevailing metaphor for describing how it works is ye old funnel. In the funnel's broken. The funnel we need to retire ye old funnel. The funnel gives credit to your marketing department. The funnel gives credit to your sales department. But your most important source of new customers, the most important reason people buy beyond your first 10 customers isn't marketing or sales, it's your existing customers. When we asked our customers why they buy, sure, they read our blog, sure, they liked their sales rep, sure, they liked their freemium, but by far the strongest reason for people buying is they had 10 friends that used HubSpot and 9 of them loved it. That is the way I think about it. And if you look at how Bezos describes Amazon, He never talks about a funnel, he talks about a flywheel. I think a flywheel is the right metaphor if you're a startup founder, a marketer, or a salesperson, to think about your business, because it gives credit to your existing customers to influence your new customers. And you want that flywheel to spin. You want to get it spin really, really fast. And the happier your customers are, and the stronger the word of mouth is, the faster that flywheel will spin. And so I think that's another sort of thing about the internet that's really changed. Word of mouth spreads a lot faster. So the internet just spreads word of mouth faster. The other thing that's going on in society, and I know we have a political debate happening here, but people don't trust anything or anyone anymore. They don't trust their politicians. They don't trust social media. They don't trust the regular media. They don't trust, humans just don't trust anything. The only people they certainly don't trust marketers and sellers. They trust their friends and colleagues. And so word of mouth is propelled by the internet, and word of mouth is necessitated by the fact that trust in all things has really dropped over time. And so I like this idea of throwing the funnel away. At HubSpot, we use this idea of a flywheel metaphor, trying to get that flywheel to spin as fast as it can. That's the way we think about our business. I think that's the right way to think about a modern business today.
Got it, got it. And on that flywheel, I've read some things you wrote where you talk about, there's forces to make the flywheel spin faster, and then there's friction that slows it down. Maybe tell us a little bit more about that. Like, what are the things that, other than that great customer experience, that make that spin faster? And then what are the sources of friction that we've got to rip out?
Yeah, if you just look at the history of the companies today that are doing so well, they have done a fantastic job of disintermediating between themselves and the customer. All the direct-to-consumer brands we talked about previously, also happening in B2B. Backstage, we were talking about the collaboration market. Your company is doing great. Smartsheet, Monday.com, Airtable, all the modern B2B companies that traditionally would rely on opening offices all over the country, hiring very expensive sales organizations, SE organizations. Everyone's embracing sort of this direct-to-consumer. The consumerization has really happened, and it's gone even further, where taking that friction out and really enabling people to buy on their terms. The reality of the internet today, the reality of all of our darn industries, like you think of the marketing software industry. We started the marketing software industry. There were 14 marketing software companies. Omniture was like one of 14, HubSpot was one of 14, Eloqua, Marketo, there weren't that many. Today, there's over 6,000 marketing software companies. It's amazing how many marketing software companies are out there. The barrier to enter any industry is much lower. The competitive landscape has changed dramatically, and so you need to be able to create competitive advantage in your product as well as your go-to-market model.
Okay. Wow, great. So this is also a separate question that we didn't necessarily talk about, but you wrote this book about marketing lessons from the Grateful Dead.
Yes.
So I was really intrigued, and I don't know if people know about this, but what's a few lessons from there that, make a pitch for your book here.
Okay. You weren't one of the 8 people that read it?
Not yet. It's
okay,
not
let me ask a question. Let's just say back in the day, you wanted to go to the Rolling Stones concert. How would you get tickets? Like, how would you go about it? Who would you call? Ticketmaster. You'd call Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster, yeah.
You'd wait until 1 o'clock when the tickets go on sale, but you'd be in a meeting and you end up calling at 1:10, and you're dialing, but the damn number's busy. Really irritating. Who buys all those tickets?
Scalpers.
Damn scalpers. And so the Rolling Stones sell the tickets, Ticketmaster takes a cut, the scalpers take a cut, and then finally the fans get the tickets. So there's like 2 levels of middleman. The Grateful Dead hated that. They hated giving that money away. They also hated the fact that all the people in the front row were middle-aged, they're guys that look like you and me, not crazy deadheads with their tie-dyes and sweaty and all that stuff. And so they said, screw it, we're cutting the middlemen out, we're disintermediating. They started their own ticketing agency. So you call directly to the Grateful Dead and you bought your tickets directly from the Grateful Dead. And so they were very early. They're also kind of the world's first inbound marketers, content marketers. They let you go to a concert, record the thing, and go back to your room and copy the tapes and spread it around. So they were the first sort of viral content marketers. The Grateful Dead were really underrated in terms of their music. A lot of people disagree with me about that, and their marketing strategy.
Great. Well, with that, I think it's a wrap. And please join me in thanking Brian for coming here. And
Thanks.
have a great one.